Mohamed.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I stand here today in support of the WASPI Women 6020 in my constituency of Dewsbury and Batley, and every single WASPI woman across the UK. I want to begin by congratulating my right honourable friend, the member for Salford, for securing this crucial debate and for her powerful, compelling speech, clearly presenting the case, the evidence and the injustice that these women have suffered, and the clear need to address the injustice through payment of compensation by implementing the recommendations of the Ombudsman. So without wanting to repeat any of the points made, I'm just going to read out some specific comments from my constituents in Dewsbury and Batley. Virginia, a constituent who wrote to me just after I became elected, writes, "I'm absolutely devastated and feel betrayed. For years, senior Labour representatives and even the Prime Minister himself pledged to deliver fair compensation to those impacted. They have now made a political choice to break that promise and to ignore the findings of an independent watchdog. The DWP got it wrong, and they cannot simply adopt a pick and mix approach to which elements of an independent ombudsman's conclusions they find convenient." She goes on to say that furthermore, in recent months, all pensioners losing their winter fuel allowance have been written to directly. Why does the government not feel this would have made a difference to WASPI women? Another constituent, Anne, writes, "I need to vent my frustration and anger at the government's announcement yesterday that they will not accept the Ombudsman's recommendation to pay WASPI women some compensation for maladministration. They were in support of this whilst they were in opposition." This is a complete betrayal and a breach of trust between our people that we represent and this place, and it must be reversed. She also goes on to say, "The people making these decisions are in fortunate positions themselves, but Anne was relying on their understanding and compassion for others who are less able to make up the circa £48,000 which she reckons to have lost." Paula writes to me and says, "As you know, thousands of women living in Dewsbury were impacted, including me. We were left with little time to make alternative plans for our retirement and have been affected by the lack of notice ever since." She actually raises a really critical point. She says she had no notification for the DWP at all until she wrote to them asking for clarification in 2006, when they replied and said she would be able to retire at 65, which was a shock. In 2011, when an extra year was added, they didn't communicate to her then either. So in conclusion, Madam Deputy Speaker, as my right honourable friend, the member for Salford, has stated and clearly explained, the government's justification for not paying compensation are absolutely flawed. The argument that it's too costly or complex to compensate is untrue. The Ombudsman wrote in the findings, finite resources should not be an excuse to avoid a fair remedy. So I repeat the calls of the members across the House for the government to reverse its decision, to bring a vote on compensation to this House, and to engage in out-of-court talks with WASPI women.
James McCleary.